Welcome to Ron and Nick's Best Friend Podcast, a show for anyone who needs a friend, where we tell how we met our best friend, the Holy Spirit, the stories of how he meets us in our everyday lives, and how you can meet him too.
Hey, thanks for coming to Ron and Nick's, or showing up or listening to Ron and Nick's Best Friend Podcast. My name is Nick. Who are you?
I'm Ron. I'm Ron.
Hey,
I'm Ron.
I'm Ron.
There are 4 Rons in my Sunday school class. Do
Yeah.
you know what we call the last Ron that gets there?
No.
The moron. Okay, that's
Okay,
bad.
that really wasn't
that's
funny.
not a good-
I laughed just to whatever.
Courtesy laugh.
Courtesy laugh. Listen, this is a podcast about the Holy Spirit. We talk about subjects or whatever's going on in our lives and seeing how the Holy Spirit is affecting it. You had a word that you want to talk about. You told me that this morning as we're recording. Actually, you texted me. By the way, just so you understand, you wake up a lot earlier than me. You know you do that. Like, I get texts at 5 o'clock, and I'm very sensitive to hearing my text, and I get up. And I don't say nice words when I see a text from you at 5 o'clock. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I just get excited.
Well, okay.
I mean,
now I feel bad.
And the
Now
Holy
I feel
Spirit
bad.
says something
Now
to
I
me
feel bad.
at 6:30, and I've been up for 2 hours, and I just want to share it with my friend.
Okay. Basically, he says, hey, let's record at 9 a.m. That's all he said. Don't listen to what he's... Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I can't remember what I said. No, I'm going to do what you did to me last week.
All right.
Okay, tell me the word that I told you. No, because I swear that he forgot.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I swear I forgot.
Did you?
I'm confessing.
Did you? I knew you did. I knew it. Go back and watch. I
I'm
knew that
confessing.
you forgot.
I did forget. Okay, listen.
No, I didn't forget. No. No.
I know. I just said it. All right, here's the thing. The subject matter is, we did an episode, many episodes, Sleeping with the Enemy, right?
Yes, we did.
You need to listen to that one. Can't watch it. You got to listen to it.
Yeah.
But you wanted to talk about hearing or listening to the enemy.
The voice of the enemy.
The voice of the enemy.
The voice of the enemy.
And from what I know, the voice usually doesn't go like, he'll get in there. Doesn't sound anything like that, because I would hear that.
No, it's much more subtle. He says the enemy is subtle. And I would just say to everyone out there, how about this? Because I've started to do a little experiment.
Oh.
And ask people. Like, I did it this morning. Like, can you hear a voice that says something like failure, loser, slow, unattractive? Do you hear that voice? Do you hear something that is a accusatory voice in your mind and heart? Does it come up often during the day? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear an accusatory voice that tells you bad things about you?
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell what that voice says to you? You don't have to.
No. I want to explain that to you, because that's a great question. Do we hear these voices? I'm speaking to myself. I hear voices like that constantly, but many times I dismiss it, or I go, okay, that's not right, and I dismiss it very quickly. But I'm always questioning. I'm always questioning my motives. I talk to a lot of people, especially in the business that I'm in, interviewing people and all that, and I'm always questioning the motives of why I'm saying certain things. I really mean them. Hey, listen, if you work with me, you really have a career path. You can really do really good. I really mean them, but are they what's the motive here? To get them to come along and work for me? Or am I being serious? I am being serious, but I'm questioning myself. Are the things I'm saying to people as I'm interviewing them and hiring them and blah, 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 true? And they are true. I'm not saying they're not, but I question constantly. I'm questioning. I'm checking myself. But yeah, I hear crap like this all the time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm undeserving. I hear that all the time.
You completely lost me until you got to that last word right there. I didn't understand anything what you said about interview. What was that about?
Well, when
you hear a voice telling you you're a liar or something?
Yeah, right.
This isn't true.
Right.
You're just trying to sucker somebody.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean,
Gotcha.
there's you know this to be true, and people that are trying to hear the Spirit, there you can have a conversation and hear things in your mind as you're talking. Okay, just like what you're saying about you can walk. Let's talk about how pretty you are. Okay, you walk into a room, guy or girl. I use the word pretty, and he or she feels inadequate. Okay, looks very attractive, but they're going, oh, I'm so unattractive, and they're smiling and they're talking to people and all that. Oh, I'm self-conscious of my weight or my looks or my hair or my nose or my eyes or whatever, and that's a constant conversation as you're talking to somebody.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I wanted. This is what I'm thinking about. It's like, I think that the enemy's voice is a gateway to hearing the Holy Spirit.
All right. Expand on that.
Okay, well, if you stop and thought about it, okay, and you started to, okay, where did that voice undeserving, where did that come from? What's that word? Are you calling yourself undeserving? Is that true? Is that what heaven is saying about you?
For absolutely, positively not.
Okay, so
that's for sure.
Heaven is not saying that about you. Okay, who is? Who is?
I'm going to argue it could be me or it could be the enemy.
Okay, it could be you or it could be the enemy.
Because those are the three voices that are going on. You, the enemy.
I'm going to add a voice.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I've been thinking about this
All right.
I've never quite settled on this, but I'm going to add a voice, and maybe this is another episode. But I believe there are voices of others, dads, moms, spouses, because I do hear those voices too. Friends, I hear those voices. There are things that have been said to me in my past, or there could be things said to me today that I do hear the echoes of those things in my head. And so I'm trying to figure out. I know we talked about this before. I said, well, maybe that's just me,
right,
replaying something. So it could be me, but I think it's a different category.
No, I got you. I hear you.
You know, just a little different, because I think there are certain
because
voices,
that voice is coming from somewhere.
Oh, right. Well,
it is a voice.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Listen, there are voices that have different gravity, magnitude, that fall on you from a different height. We've talked about this about, parents. Like if your dad or mom said something to you like you were ugly or you're slow or you're, whatever they said to you, that fell on you from a different height. Same thing with a spouse. If a spouse said the same thing, you're stupid. Okay, wow. That's coming from that has a different gravity to it than I run into somebody at, in the store who calls me stupid. Well, they don't know me. I don't give them the same.
Divorce is the big one, right?
Divorce?
Yeah. You would hear your ex-wife, what she said about you. God knows what happened in those times in divorce where words are just flying unprotected.
Yeah, well, I think you could probably trace a lot of divorce to unresolved words that have flown back and forth, or just a spouse is saying, "I want to divorce you." Okay, so that anyway, those are what I was getting at. Is this, like, if you stop and go, where's the voice coming from? So when you hear the word undeserving, where did it come from? Did it come from a spouse? Did it come from a parent? Did it come from you? Did it come from the enemy? So when I say this can be a gateway to hearing the voice of the Spirit, let's start with the easiest voice to hear. The voice of accusation is very easy to hear.
Oh,
look how quickly you heard it.
Yeah.
Okay, undeserving. Well, we know it didn't come from heaven. So what could be a response to that when you hear it, if you actually stopped and said, what does heaven have to say about that? Instead of just going undeserving and turning around and going, I guess I'm undeserving.
Oh.
And here's what I think happens with that voice. Instead of what I'm going to suggest, here's what does happen. You hear the voice undeserving. You look around, there's no one else there. You go, I must be undeserving. Now you It's you. Now, it could have been the enemy, or it could have been another person who said you're undeserving, but now you've given agreement to it. And now it is you. You've picked it up.
Why did you make agreement to it? Because
you looked around, you said, well, maybe you looked around, you said, there's no one else there. You went, well, maybe I am undeserving. And then you thought about it, and you said, yeah, maybe I'm undeserving. Or maybe I am not pretty. Maybe I am too big. Maybe my body's not the right shape. Maybe, my hands are too big. My nose is too big. My eyes are too brown. I don't know. I mean, once you've given agreement to the voice, it is your voice. It is. You've given agreement to it. You've actually empowered it. That's what I'm saying. So what if instead of doing that, okay, here it is. Nick, undeserving. Okay.
No, that's not of the Holy Spirit.
Okay, what do you do about it?
I think
big deal right here.
Yeah.
Watch this.
You ask me?
Do it right now. No. Let's do it right now. You said the word undeserving. I claim that that's an accusation that came out of hell. Okay, you've given agreement to it. Now I want you to ask heaven what heaven has to say about that word. What does heaven say? What does our best friend say about Nick is undeserving? What does he say?
I gave everything for you.
All right. How does that feel?
You got to swallow it.
Ooh.
You kind of got to go. Well, you kind of got to go.
You need a sip of coffee?
Yeah, no, you just kind of go, yeah, I know. That's good, Ron. So, finish that. So, when you hear the word, whatever the word is, let's use the undeserving.
Okay, why let that word have weight? Why let it sit unquestioned? It's an accusation. It's a destructive word. It's not a healthy word. You're fat. Okay. The enemy, here's what I talking to Nick about this. The enemy is stupid. He will always keep talking when he should shut up because he's proud, he's arrogant. He thinks he's in control even though he's not. So he'll always say something he'll go one step too far. He'll push it and push it. So if you actually start listening to him and he says things like this, you'll actually, and here's the thing, I said actually like 15 times there, you will hear him slip up and push it one level too far, and then you'll just laugh at him. You go, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous what you just said. And then he's exposed. And the one thing the devil hates is for you to laugh at him. Now, this is the difference between the Holy Spirit and the devil. Holy Spirit loves for you to laugh. He does. He loves laughter. He loves joy. Satan, the enemy, all of the realm of darkness hates our laughter. Hates it. Wants to snuff it out. And especially hates it if we laugh at him. So when he says something to you like you're fat and you just go... Okay, heaven says that I'm beautiful. What do you think about that? Okay, so you took his words, which were an accusation. You went and said, "Oh, hold on 1 second. 1 second, please. I'm gonna go have a conversation with somebody who actually knows me." Holy Spirit, what? Oh, I'm beautiful.
Ooh.
What do you want? Do you want to continue accusing me now, or would you like to go away?
And there's the gateway.
That's what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people don't know that they are actually being attacked. Could you stop for a minute and understand that you're being attacked? Okay? You're being accused. The Bible talks about the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. Who's that? All of us. Are you being accused? All the time. Every day. It's happening. All the time, every day. You just don't take time to judge your thoughts. So there it is. Where did the voice come from? It doesn't really matter. If it came out of another person and came to you, if your dad says to you, "You're undeserving," well, you know where he got that? He got it from the enemy. And then he used it on you.
That's right.
And then you gave agreement to it and empowered it. Now you feel undeserving. Are you undeserving? I mean, we could talk about that theologically, but what does heaven say? Heaven just said what to you? I gave everything for you. Okay, so here's a place where we can invite the voice of the Spirit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hearing this? This is big.
I believe it is.
This is really, really, really big. When we hear these negative things, it is the gateway. It is the alarm. Ding, 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 ding.
That's the word.
The alarm?
The alarm.
It's the alarm. You know what? This Christian life that we live it's what we say. It's not difficult.
It's impossible. It's not difficult. It's impossible. You have to give up. You have to give up, and you have to. And here's giving up is the key to resting and hearing. Okay, I can't. Here's what pop culture does. Okay, well, you hear this word, this negative word. You are undeserving. Well, here's what you do. You tell yourself how deserving you are. Okay, try that. Yeah. See how it works. You know what? You can never stop. Now you're in charge of you finding out, fighting the negative words, the accusations. And guess what? If you manage to beat that one, there's 75 behind it, because he's not going to stop there. The way to get him to stop accusing you is to take every accusation and say, hold on just a second. I'm going to talk to the Holy Spirit about that, and I'll get right back to you. Then he gets the picture. What he's actually doing is building a fortress full of the words of God, the opinions of God. And he's stupid, but he's not that stupid. Like, this isn't working out. This is not working, these accusations. And so, maybe that's how you get him to leave you alone. I know that you don't get him to leave you alone by focusing on it. Okay, now I'm going to focus on the word undeserving. Okay, I'm going to come up with 17 reasons why I'm deserving.
So all of the voice of the Holy Spirit is love, correct?
All of it.
Acceptance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Second, third, fourth, fifth chances. No condemnation.
70 times 7. Yeah. Always. Forgive.
Creating relationship, not distancing, not leaving.
Not creating separation. That's right. No,
not going to go out of town and punish you for what you've done and have you
right.
Separate from you.
Yeah, you'll never hear the Holy Spirit say, I want a divorce. He'll never say that. That's a lie out of the pit of hell. The one thing that I'm sure of when someone comes to me and says, well, I doubt my salvation. I'm not really sure I'm saved. I know for sure that person is saved. Whenever someone says that, you know why?
Why?
Because that temptation, that accusation only works on a believer. Why would the enemy accuse an unbeliever of being lost? That's counterproductive.
Correct. That's really good.
Right. But there's that. You're not getting a divorce from. If you've said to him in the slightest way, I want you, he said, I was just waiting. I wanted you back a long time before you wanted me. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for the ungodly. What people want to, I guess, make that into is that now I have to be godly to maintain this relationship. No, what you have to do is rest in godliness, in his givenness, and his names that he wants to give to you.
Let's give a shout out to a couple people.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you start with.
Well, we last week we heard from Shala Overholt. She was disappointed because we didn't have a Bible study podcast last week, which we rectified this week. It's out there.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah.
Stephen H. He is
also known as
Steve the Linen Guy.
Steve the Linen Guy. Hi, Steve the Linen Guy. No one will get that. That's way inside.
That's real deep right there. So appreciate all the emails and comments you've been bringing in.
Yeah, please. Hey, our community. Let's talk to the community. We're part of the Great Awakening. We're the people. We have a God who speaks.
Yeah.
We have a God who speaks, and he has things to say to the people around you. I know today that you heard the voice of the accuser. I know I have, and everyone around you has heard the voice of the accuser. How about sharing this with them and showing them that they don't have to listen to that there's another voice, that there's a voice of love that has a name for them that is healing and bigger than anything they've ever imagined. Let's let this community grow. Let's make the world a friendlier place. Let's share our best friend.
That's what I was going to say, and we call it
Our
best friend.
Our best friend, yeah. So, again, as Nick said, keep those emails, texts, phone calls coming. We love you. We're so glad to be in this community with you. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Ron and Nick's Best Friend Podcast, a show for anyone who needs a friend. Join us every week right here as we talk about who?
Our best friend, the Holy Spirit. And if you want more information about him or the show, you can find it at www.ronandnicksbestfriend.com.
And don't forget to subscribe. I think it's great. No, there's great stuff there.